Triple Frontier has a formidable cast attached to it, including Ben Affleck, Batman, Oscar Isaac, Star Wars, Charlie Hunnam, Sons of Anarchy, Garrett Hedlund, Tron, and Pedro Pascal, Narcos. But a great cast does not necessarily a great movie make, so what do the critics think? What do critics say about Triple Frontier? The movie currently is rated fresh at 68% on Rotten Tomatoes. The critics' consensus reads, "An outstanding cast and ambitious story help Triple Frontier overcome an uneven narrative, and elevate the end result above a crowded field of grim and gritty heist thrillers." The uneven narrative was more of a problem for some critics than others. Our review gave the Netflix movie 2 out of 5 stars, despite loving the cast list. ISNTIT Romantic on Netflix reviews. What do critics say? The Express.co.uk review reads, "Triple Frontier wants to be an intimate look at the mental and emotional toll of warfare on men, but instead, it leans heavily into the misconception that the only way a man should manage his emotions, whether frustration, depression, or disenchantment, is with a gun. Redfly says it plainly, only thing that made it feel better is when you put a gun in my hand, so I guess that's what we'll do." The moment, undoubtedly horrifying to anyone concerned by the soaring number of gun deaths in America, could have pivoted the film into an intense psychological thriller, challenging our notions of masculinity, of good versus evil, of the unseen scars of battle. But Triple Frontier isn't an intimate movie. It's a loud, brash, war heroes turned cowboys story that fails to land any of its emotional punches. The boy WHO harnessed the wind reviews. What do critics have to say? Hannah Woodhead for Little White Lies. The lack of character development means we never really invest in their brotherhood or shared motivations, and it all ends up seeming empty and avoidable. Jake Coyle for Associated Press. Triple Frontier has the good sense to take a macho, Expendables-like setup and turn it inward. It just doesn't go far enough. Mike D'Angelo for The Avenue Club. Triple Frontier becomes a fascinating sustained exercise in absurdist triage, as one mishap after another forces the men to decide whether they're prepared to throw away obscene amounts of money in order to save their skins. Kerry Lengill for The Arizona Republic. It's a movie that maybe tries to do too much, but it does enough of it well to keep you glued to the screen. Fighting with My Family reviews. What do critics say about the film? Peter Travers for Rolling Stone. This Netflix action blowout gets a pass on mindless escapism, but its attempt to sell itself as something deeper is beyond redemption. Gary M. Kramer for Salon.com. Triple Frontier is a slog not just for the men hiking through the rough Andes terrain with bags of money, but for answers as well. David Lewis for the San Francisco Chronicle. The idea behind Triple Frontier could have easily supported a multi-layered movie filled with action, interesting characters and ethical quandaries. That was certainly the intent, to be sure, but the film comes up short in all 3 areas. Soren Anderson for the Seattle Times. When greed runs up against conscience, you've got a story. It does in Triple Frontier, and the story of that collision is a violent and thought-provoking one. How to Train Your Dragon 3 reviews. What do critics say? Barry Hertz for the Globe and Mail. That Chandra's film cannot quite reconcile its eventual tonal shift. Becomes his own undoing. Benjamin Lee for The Guardian. It's an enjoyable enough way to spend 2 hours, but without any commentary or real depth. It's in need of a bit more suspense or conflict to really oil the wheels, the film too often ambling along when it should be racing. Todd McCarthy for The Hollywood Reporter. Despite the heavy dose of action and numerous tense situations, this Netflix offering has trouble staying in high gear once it gets there, and the characterizations remain one-dimensional. The men all speak exactly the same way. Oh, in Gleiberman for Variety, we've seen these sorts of situations once too often, done tighter and better, with more surprise. Triple Frontier is out on Netflix on March 13, 2019.